Audio Jungle.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News. Thank you for joining us. I am your host Elisa Carballo and we have excellent information for you guys coming right ahead. But before we start, let me remind you where we are. We're in the beautiful heart of Riviera Maya in El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. Now remember, Mexico News Network is your #1 source of positive and relevant information on Mexico's thriving and rising industries in all sectors. So, ergo, keep informed by logging on to our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com and follow us on social networks on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Google+. Now let's begin with today's main headline stories. The Mexican airline inaugurated its new route on July 2nd as the first step in its strategy of international expansion. Mexican budget airline Volaris recently announced the opening of a brand new international route between Cancun and Puerto Rico. In a press release from the airline, the company informed that this is the first airline to reconnect Mexico to Puerto Rico in 15 years. This new route would also be Volaris' very first foray into the Caribbean. The airline aims to have Puerto Ricans traveling to Mexico and vice versa at very low budget rates in order to maximize the potential to enjoy destinations in both nations. Volaris has a range of 140 routes to 62 destinations, of which 23 are international and 39 national. José Luis Suárez, Director of Sales and Customer Service at Volaris, expressed in the statement that this new route is part of its strategy to expand way beyond Mexico's domestic market. In the future, Volaris will offer connections from Mexico City, Monterrey, and Tijuana all the way to Puerto Rico so customers can avoid long layovers. Now, this new route links Cancun, Mexico to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and will be held twice weekly on Thursdays as well as Sundays. The executive director of the Puerto Rico tourism company, Ingrid I. Riviera Rocafort, said that they are delighted to receive the very first direct flight from Mexico in over 15 years, especially when their greatest number of Latin American visitors comes from the Aztec nation, which now facilitates visits and exchange between the two cultures. The flights offered so far on this new route are on Thursdays as well as Sundays, departing from Cancun at 11:30 hours and arriving in San Juan, Puerto Rico at 15:50, which is 3:50, departing from San Juan, Puerto Rico at 5:20 in the afternoon and arriving in Cancun at 7:40 p.m. Moving along to more information, the governments of Mexico and Italy have agreed to increase tourism both ways. Alitalia, Italy's leading airline, has announced its return to Mexico by the year 2016. Alitalia will then be connecting Rome as well as Mexico City through direct flight routes, reinforcing as such the company's commitment to develop its intercontinental network. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto and Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi signed a memorandum of understanding stating each other's support and commitment to increase tourism as well as economic growth in both countries, as well as in Italian Airlines opening of a new direct flight between both countries' capital cities. This direct flight is part of Alitalia's strategy to increase its intercontinental network and renewal its long-haul fleet, which includes 24 aircrafts, 14 Airbus A330s and 10 Boeing 777s. They are also expecting to add 5 more planes for long-haul routes by the year 2018. Alitalia's CEO, Silvano Casano, stated in a press release that they are very determined in implementing the recovery plan for Alitalia that hinges specifically on the development of long-distance travel. The flight to Mexico City responds to market demands that appear to be of great interest both in terms of traditional tourism, business tourism, and freight. Now, both country leaders hope to boost tourism on both ends, As stated by Casano, they are very proud of the agreement signed, and with this new route, Alitalia is doubly committed to promoting Mexico as a preferred tourist destination for Italy, while developing also as a preferred tourism destination for Mexico from Italy, of course. In more news, on Tuesday, Amazon recently announced the launching of its operations officially in Mexico with a website and logistics system appropriate to the nation. The decision takes place after months of anticipated speculation on the American e-commerce's entry into Latin American market. The opening of Amazon Mexico had been announced, but with very few details on this new operation. On a communique published in Amazon.com.mx, the company stated in Mexico that they are launching more categories, more products, and more functions than any previous launching they have made in other parts of the world. Among the products offered are those considered specifically for the local market, such as individual avocado carriers, which prevents the fruit from drying up and darkening once it has been opened. E-commerce and home delivery have been quite a tough sell in Mexico due to a lack of confidence in the postal system. Many packages cannot be simply trusted to be left on the porches or at the doorstep of homes. Amazon then offers clients the possibility to pick up packages at a certain delivery point all throughout the nation. Amazon Mexico has also launched a platform that allows local companies to sell their products on the company's websites and also get distributed through its logistical chain. According to the Mexican Internet Association, in Mexico there are 54 million people connected to the Internet, which is more than 40% of the country's inhabitants. And there are hopes that this number grows at a yearly rate of 13%. Moving along to more news. At long last, the industrial and logistics corridor of Mexico's Isthmus of Tehuantepec has received the green light. After decades of being on hold, this project will now be receiving the funds to be developed in 3 stages over a period of several years, beginning in 2016. Railway, port, road, and airport infrastructure are expected to improve as a result of the project, which is to promote the region's development overall. Now, the Isthmus of Tehuantepec is the region with the shortest distance between the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific coast of Mexico, which had long been heavily used as a road and railroad connection for interoceanic commerce. The Transísmico, or the Industrial and Logistics Corridor of the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, would then go from Salina Cruz into the Pacific state of Oaxaca to Coatzacoalcos in the Gulf state of Veracruz. It will be receiving 4,343 million pesos by 2016 for research and the very first stage of construction, including railroad, port, road, and airport infrastructure improvements, which is planned to take a year and a half to complete overall. Stage 2 is planned to be developed over a 3-year period. The third and final stage could be completed in a period ranging from 5 to 10 years' time. The project has 2 main axes. Number 1, developing transport infrastructure, and number 2, industrial development. The project overall aims to fulfill foreign as well as local demand, becoming as such as an alternative for transporting commerce between China and the Americas. It would then also provide logistics, transportation, and industrial transformation services, even though its projected railways, road networks, communications, infrastructure, 2 seaports, and 2 airports, not to mention its reach for international markets as well. Now, according to a cost-benefit analysis published by Mexico's Secretariat of Communications and Transportation, the project is expected to double the gross domestic product per capita of the region, which is amazing news for this thriving industry. Now, please stay with us, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these few messages.
Audio Jungle.